your company's making every single month? How much your house is making every single month? I hear so many people. I mean, Chris, you know my clientele. They're talking $25,000. You know, I'm making $80,000 a month. I'm making $100,000 a month. Making $100,000 a month. How much of that are you capturing in your family bank? Period. We're done with that part of the conversation, so we can move it up on to where the individuals that aren't making, you know, $100K a month, $50K a month, $25K a month, you know, individuals that are making $5K a month, or people that are making $3K a month, you know, oh wow, you got $3K a month going through your private family house. Absolutely. Now, you know, that's something that's feasible to start from there, and it's just mind blowing how many individuals. I mean, they just don't see that they can start from right there. And I just want to let y'all know, if you're not capturing that $3,000 to your private banking system, someone else will. It's just that simple. It's kind of like a default mechanism. Yeah. So, you know, I think about if you're not capturing that $3,000 a month, that $5,000 a month, you're not capturing that $8,000 a month, you're not capturing that $10,000 a month, or whatever it is. If you're not capturing that into these type of policies, what are you doing? Your money's not insured. And we're talking about protecting your money by insuring it, by putting it in private banking system policy, not just a regular traditional insurance policy. I need to start, and I say, wow, okay, this is the man with the plan. This is the man that he's in an industry very niche, but at the same time, still he's an executor. He's able to do what is it that. When you look at a Zuckerberg, when you look at a Bill Gates, when you look at a Warren Buffett, you see the guys that are right there insuring them. Not because, oh, Chris is a big shot or the next guy's a big shot. It's really, well, Chris, can you do the policy? Yeah. Then I just need you to do the policy for $100 million. Can you do that? Yeah. Okay, that's why you have a big check. Am I right, Chris?
You're right.
You know, Chris is not out of the realm of $100 million right check status, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris's business, and so excuse me. All right, I'm back. Sharing with individuals. You hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, sharing with individuals that are making $100K like Warren Buffett, that are insuring his money privately, like a private elite is doing, like all elite are doing, insuring their money privately. But individuals that don't have that capital, they don't do that. And so the only difference is Chris is one of those individuals that I'm cool with. I have a public, page with the vault. And so, you know, we can bring on elite individuals that can help elite individuals out, that helps elite individuals out. And is here to say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, for all you all that are just generally in the public, guess what? We're just going to have an entrepreneur general conversation, a human citizen conversation. You know, I mean, it is insurance policies. We can talk about it. He has his certifications and his licenses. Let's talk about it. And this is the conversation. There are banking policies going on right in front of your eyes every single day. And that's in the public, not just in the public, it's in the private too. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the type of information that the vault and the private sector is dealing with. Information that's operating in the public, but it's still private. That's why they call them private corporations. That's why they call them private everything. It's private. But they do have a public side to it. So thank you, Chris, for, like I say, giving your time, coming out of the private and talking about these things in the public, creating history, man, for our families, and just letting them know that, you know, even though we are private men, we understand that, but we also encourage other individuals to engage in private practices such as what we call private banking. Having an insurance policy is a form of private banking because the contract is private.
Yeah.
These are simple things that certain individuals know, but we're sharing it and putting that information in a public perspective because it even goes deeper than what we're talking about. Am I right, Chris?
You're right. All right. Absolutely.
So, any parting words, Chris, for us?
No, I just look to hear from you guys. Any questions? I'm here for you. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you all for listening. If we have any last minute questions, we'll take those. But other than that, thank you all, Facebook Live, for listening, YouTube, and then iTunes. I definitely wanted to make it a point to get this episode on all the platforms, and so just thank you all for tuning in live. But Chris is someone, like I said, to have great connections with, and I know individuals out here. We're living in a time today, ladies and gentlemen, where I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you all haven't seen a recession in 10 years. How good does it get? The stock market's at an all-time high. How good does it get? And the only people that are drunk on dollars is the Fed. It's not the people. Because think about it, Chris, are people's wages going up? Oh, bank, we need to do this. You know, you hear all these ideas out here, Chris, on the internet.
Because what I'm about to give you is pertinent information for trustees to spin down and recapture that energy. Alright, now I'm going to bring it to a perspective where I'm talking to Moors and non-Moors, any individual within the sound of my voice who understands a basic concept of insurance. And I want you to take in consideration everything you've heard in this class, everything you've heard these last 3 weeks, and we're going to put a dot on the paper starting now. These things that I'm going to talk about is what you can do today. If you're like what Chris and my mentor Sharif Ali just said, if you're structured correctly. Give you a few minutes because I don't know if I can repeat this twice. The first thing you have to have is you must have a family trust. Write that, number one. Step number one. Must have a family trust. Okay? Number two. You must have a business management trust. Number one, family trust. Number two, business management trust. Excuse me. Number three, you must have a private family foundation. Okay. When you have those three trusts, you need to have a whole life insurance policy or an insurance policy that will behave in a whole life cash value capacity. And just to share with everyone, when I was 21, from age 21 to 32, I sold insurance. Took the exams, the whole 9 yards, so I have a little bit of knowledge of insurance. Alright, so what's the steps? Number one, must have a family trust. Number two, I must have a business management trust. Number three, I must have a private family foundation. Number four, I must have a whole life insurance policy or a policy that carries the same capabilities as a whole life policy with cash value. Now, I don't want you to overthink this and complicate this, because what I'm going to give you is going to simplify this. Okay, you establish the trust first in order for every other contract to be treated as a trust, or what we call a pure contract trust. Brother Bay, how do you write that? Real simple. Step 1, family foundation. Step 2, business management trust. Step 3, private family foundation. Step 4, a whole life insurance policy / and or policy that has the same type of capabilities as a whole life cash value policy. And number 5, and you draw a star beside 5, because 5 is how you connect all of these things together to be able to spin down, is every contract between the family trust and business management trust, every contract between the business management trust to the private family foundation, every contract between the private family foundation, business management trust, family trust, all of those contracts are treated as pure, P-U-R-E, contract trust. Don't overthink this. Just write this down and listen. This is what you have when you have created these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts. These 5 contracts become 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 contracts. And each one of these contracts can be insured, and they can be overlapped, and they can be spent down, and they can replenish itself over and over and over again. It is the mechanisms that makes up the insurance. Remember what we've been studying. When you apply for an insurance, did I say apply? When you apply for the insurance, that's an application. Okay, when you get that insurance application done, that application is then taken to the underwriter, so therefore it is registered. And then, quote unquote, they got to give you proof of insurance. That's your certification. You are in a trust. It's a gigantic trust umbrella. And this is what my mentor was saying. It gets real deeper than that. They're just not going to go into it because it's private information. When you put those things together and you are operating in trust, you have your very own private banking system, your own private banking cartel. The very thing that the Federal Reserve is, and yeah, by the way, the Federal Reserve, as of today, 48 hours ago, their license is being revoked. That's just the beginning. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, we're talking about implementation. Brother Bay, why is this important? This is important because the old system is going away. Notice the banks are going away, but the insurance companies aren't going away. The insurance companies have been around before the banks. The insurance companies are going to be here when these old dinosaurs leave and the new system is resurrected. This is why in trust you have to assure. You must have assurance through insurance. Write that down. You got to have assurance. ASSURANCE, assurance through insurance. Because of all the liabilities going on in the public. The reason why the public and private don't mix is that when one has to deal with the other, they have to have some sort of assurance, which must be backed up, documented wise, with insurance, where another entity in trust is willing to provide a surety. All these things go together. Don't overcomplicate what I'm saying. Don't overthink the process.